support of the nominees here. Good morning. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Good morning once again. I do rise in support of the nominations here as it relates to the nominee for the Virgin Islands Coastal Zone, as well as nominee for the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority Board of Directors. We also have the Attorney General nominee. As you know, for me, it's a personal as well as a situation within our public that the public has decided over the course of our own referendum that we would love to see an elected Attorney General. But as the law stands right now, I do support Mr. Gordon being placed in this position, as I see individuals that potentially are competent and can get the job done. 1 minute. And maybe someday he might actually be able to get elected. So it's going to be a long day, so I'm definitely going to support all of these individuals, and I return the balance of my time. No.
Well, it's really going to be
to my colleagues, to the people of the territory, I do rise in support of all of these zoning requests. I had an opportunity as a member of the Committee of the Whole on 2 occasions to get the chance to really hone in and ask questions as it relates to these various zoning requests. And the fact that the majority of them had to do with housing, they had to do with adding more hotels to the territory. There were some that I did question and I got satisfactory answers, specifically those that had to do with changing agriculture to a different zoning where I'm very much a supporter of agriculture, but after we got the responses we did, that a portion of the property will still be remaining agriculture for them to grow, and they'll be expanding to different types of businesses. I thought that was a definite plus, because we do recognize, you might not need 40 acres to produce the type of agriculture we need to do now in modern day, and we could do it on a smaller parcel. So I did appreciate them sharing that. So at the end of the day, I think all of these pieces of zoning add a very positive impact to our territory when it comes to economic growth and housing for the people of this territory. Thank you, Mr. President, for the time.
Thank you very much, Senator.
President, I move to waive Rule 403, 404, 405, and 509A of the rules of the 35th Legislature to Special Order Bill number 35, that's 0248, a resolution petitioning the United States Congress to amend Revised Organic Act of the Virgin Islands to authorize the people of the Virgin Islands to elect an Attorney General of the Virgin Islands pursuant to Rule 509B to be considered in the last block at the last item. I so move.
Second.
509.
Motion properly made by.
Good afternoon once again to my colleagues, to the people of the territory. I do rise in support of some of the pieces of legislation here today. As you know, as a government on an annual basis, we have to make sure that we attempt to pass a balanced budget to guarantee that the people of the Virgin Islands get the necessary services that they need. So, as you know, as closed rule, I could sit here and pick apart some of these pieces of legislation, but it is not necessary as we have gone through them on several occasions. I want to speak a little bit about 35.0373. This piece of legislation has been a very interesting one from the inception of last year. And it has been an interesting contention at times within the institution, because for me, I get highly offended when the legislature is being blamed for things that I personally do not believe that we should be blamed for. This piece of legislation speaks to a line of credit of $100 million and attempting to add on an additional $50 million for government operations, as well as paying vendors and paying for retroactive pay. The problem that I had with this legislation is that the governor of the Virgin Islands consistently went through this community telling the public that it was wrong for the legislature to not give him $50 million when he wanted it last year, and we are holding up vendor payments. But as a body, we have to be responsible. We held several meetings and gave the administration an opportunity to share their thoughts as to why they should have gotten half of the then $100 million. As a body, as well as myself, who was author of the piece of legislation, did not feel it was necessary, or they shared enough information with us to justify just giving half of monies that we need for our disaster recovery projects. And this today is an attempted compromise.
30 seconds.
We do get to secure the $100 million and we do not touch it, but we offer an additional $50 million in hopes that the governor can pay out some of the vendors, pay out some of the retro pay, as well as for other government operations. I will be offering an amendment to guarantee that some of these things are done based on the message the governor put out to the public that this is what he needed the money for. And I just humbly request in the future that he works with the legislature as opposed to going out to the public and putting blame on us when he needs to look in the mirror. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. Next.
To offer amendment number 35-1015 to amend bill number 35-0373 offered by Senator Alma Francis Heiliger.
The Virgin.
Let me show you how we do.
Francis Heiliger. Bill number 35-0373 is amended in section 1, section C1, line 10, by inserting, provided, however, that not less than $10 million is used for payments of vendors and not less than must be used for retroactive wage payments after manner. I so move. I'd like to do through the chair to legal counsel to make note to have my name removed off of this.
The altar border is altar, please.